Welcome, Miracle Makers. Today, we really get into helping you amplify the energy that is available in your heart, in your mind, in your gut. You've heard it said before, and today we'll really jump into the science of any time two or more act together in a cooperative effort. The result is an amplification of all that is available that they influence, that they work with together. These living beings, every time you take an emotion, an energy in motion, emotion, and amplify a vision with another, we are seeing objects, inanimate objects. We're seeing life force. We're seeing everything work together. In the past, people might have called that magic. Today, we've got all of the science to show how it's occurring, because you are a feedback mechanism to the universe itself. Oh my gosh, when you live in the current moment, mind, body, and spirit, when you're living here in this space, where your body, where your spirit, where your mind, where your love is available, all of the objects around you become available for shifting into creating your vision, your power, your magic, you amplified. So much science shows what happens when you embody your body in the current moment. When your mind is looking and available in the current moment. Whenever there's been trauma, whenever there's trauma in your life, whenever there has been teachings or understanding that harms in the least bit, let me say that in another way. When inside your body there is a recollection, a recollection of what has occurred before. And that recollection is what is creating the future. You limit what's possible for all inanimate and animate objects around you. During this season, we've got a preconceived notion of what Thanksgiving looks like. We've got collectively a preconceived notion of what you do for Hanukkah, what you do for Christmas, what you do for Kwanzaa, what you do for Eid, what you do for Earth. Preconceived notions of what it all means. If you receive a gift from another, if you're giving a gift, if you're donating or creating or staying at home or feeling emotional. There's a lot of extra meaning happening in the world right now. And right now, I want to give you the tools, and I want you to be able to share with others these tools on how to transform, how to pay forward, how to amplify the current moment. Awareness of you are the change that the world is requiring. Your visions, your ideas. Instead of just recollecting the past, taking whenever someone else recollects and bringing that into your mind, body, and spirit, and amplifying what can be. Your mind is extraordinary. What you are is a collection of intuitive senses. I want to say that another way. We don't yet have all of the literature and scientific research showing this yet, but my studies from Egypt, my understanding of life, my knowing, and much of the visuals in the temples in Egypt, much of the information in the Vedas, much of the latest quantum physics is showing that you've got intuition, senses, and ability, one for each day of the year. There is guidance and evidence to show that you've got who you are in the physical world that is not yet completely seen by everyone. Cameras can catch that you're a toroidal field or a circular field, 360-degree circle, that you can turn on every aspect of yourself, every part of you that exists. So often you have been told in your life, trust your gut, trust your intuition. And for each day of the year, that experience requires you to be present in the moment. And today, that's what we're going to talk about so beautifully. For you to get into receiving your current day life and saying, wow, I accept this and better. I trust my gut and I amplify day by day the senses, the emotions, the inner knowing that only I can bring to the world. That's what we're covering today. And how to do that. We're going to do that today for your mind, body, spirit. On Thursdays, we talk about love. And so Greg Larson joins me to talk about how to do that in relationship to your best friend, to your business partner, to your family, to your kids, to your parents, to your siblings. We're going to talk about love relationships on Thursday, and on Sunday, science, spirit, and alchemy, or Spirit Science and Alchemy. The name continues to grow. Your gut instinct, right? You've got one brain up here. You've got a brain in your heart. You've actually got brain matter in all of your organs, each of your organs, and every one of your cells breathes and has an intelligence. We now recognize the chakra systems as part of the endocrine system. Your endocrine, or your hormonal system, right? Your hormonal system has an instinct. And your immediate understanding of something, when you were a kid, when you were free from trauma, preconceived ways of looking at the world, your instincts, your cry created for you getting whatever it was you wanted. Just recently, yesterday and the day before, Monday and Tuesday, I was with Amma, the hugging saint. And at various times, there were guided meditations and various events that were occurring. At times, you would hear babies in the audience. These babies weren't worried or concerned about anything other than themselves. A crying baby got its needs met. And even though you are no longer the crying baby through your voice, the 360 degrees, the toroidal field that you are, every area that one of your core needs has not been met is crying out, oozing out energy. And your feedback that you're giving to the universe and your feedback that is being received by your body either expands or diminishes what's possible for you. As a kid, if you cried, right, you got your needs met. As a teenager, as an adult, you stopped trusting the world to the same degree that you trusted it as a child. I want to say that another way. For you, getting your core needs met is the most important process that you're on. And this part of knowing what it is that is required by you, right? Understanding fully, having the gut, the intuition, the knowing. As a baby, you knew the difference between what you needed. And then when the ego came on, you got very familiar with what you wanted. I read recently, it was so interesting to read this, a statement that said, anything that you have above your need, anything that you have above your need is greed, right? And anything above your need is holding your energy from being in the current moment fully. I want to say all of that another way. As a baby, as a child, you received food and you drank as much as, or ate as much as you could handle. And you didn't go about thinking, what about my next meal? You trusted your gut, you trusted the universe, you trusted it was coming next. Your intuition arised as a feeling within your body that only you experience. Your intuition arises within your body when there is a core need, hunger. There is a signal sent out to the universe, and that hunger got met by a bottle, by an adult, or by someone around you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. The feeling is so personal. Your hunger is so personal. And it's beautiful to get with someone who understands and can read your body and can help your body put into words what it is that your gut, your intuition is trying to tell you. It's really great, but you really don't need anyone else to do this for you. Dis-ease or not being fully well sets in when you've avoided the core hunger. When you were a baby, there's Maslow's hierarchy of needs: food, shelter, clothing, water. When you've got those core needs met, higher and higher self-expression of your needs comes into place. If there is dis-ease in your body, part of it came from your whatever your parents didn't deal with, whatever grandparents, whatever society didn't deal with. There's a bridge or a thing that you within your body have access to that no one else has access to. So, for example, my mom I had an arranged marriage. My mom had an arranged marriage. My grandmother and great-great-grandmothers, all the way back. For me, I stepped into making sure that everyone else in my family had choice. My mom didn't step into that. My grandmother didn't. My great-grandmother, all the way back. It started with me, and it was such a funky experience. Excuse me. It was such a funky experience, but by being the teenager and the person that I was, I made sure that unnatural way didn't move forward. Within your family, every one of the traditions, every one of those energies that hasn't been voiced. It's easy to see for this example, arranged marriages, right? It's easy. It's so good to see that you can shift that, but only you can become the bridge. Your gut, your intuition, and your willingness to share it, right? Your willingness to share this journey, this this is how I was, and I'm offering this to you, right? So I want to say all of that another way. The power of your mind, the power of your intuition, your feeling is so personal. No one else can weigh in fully and feel what's yours to bring forward. Trusting yourself. And this is the thing. If you have said it before in the same way to other people, you might not be present in the moment. You might be in trauma or in defense. Defending because a core need was not met. Listening to your intuition helps you avoid unhealthy relationships and situations. So as you're going in Thanksgiving, the holidays, the office parties, all of that, in the past, you might have felt that many people pushed their way of being, their ideas, their interpretation of events into your energy field. You might feel members of society or family were deceitful and harmful, selfish intent on their part. And so you go into these group meetings, these group situations with trauma as the lens that you're seeing the current moment, or defensiveness. And so it's so important before you wind up in these situations, before you go there, for you to have no external enemy. I want to say this another way. You've got to get into a place where inside your heart, inside your gut, inside your mind, inside your body, you say, universe, life, I get if I do the same things over and over again, if they do the same things over and over again, we're going to have the same result. So I am willing to change. I am willing to hold the good intentions. I am willing to come from a place of complete honesty, complete connectedness. I'm willing to come from a giving place rather than, and this is from your intuition, from your gut. So your mom and dad hanging out with you say, oh my gosh, you're not going to pick a fight with you, are you? You're not going to pick a fight with us this year, are you, as you're coming home for the holidays, right? And your gut in that moment, you're like, oh, you're so open and you're so ready and you're so loving and you're so all of these things. And they say those words. Can you be generous in that moment? Can you not be defended? Can you be in the current moment now? They, in their own way, are sharing a humorous concern. And for you to go, oh my gosh, it's not me that picks a fight, it's you, right? You just did it, mom and dad, by saying that statement, right? When you say that, automatically you're in the craziness. You're in the preconceived. And if you're able to get, oh my gosh, my job here is to take care of myself, be in the current moment, and you say to yourself, oh, I receive this and better. So then you wind up saying in your head, in your gut, in your body, you laugh, right? That statement, you're not going to pick a fight, are you? And you go, haha, oh, it's so funny. I'm so grateful you feel comfortable sharing that. And I love you guys. I hope there's only eating great food together. There's only us laughing at all of the ways we used to be together. So you take what's offered. You have no external enemy. You get, all right, your parents said that for your behalf. Your freedom lives in you not choosing, but in you being. Who are you going to be? And so you're going to be, you are in your body, the now moment. If you go into the traumatic self, if you look at that statement through the lens of the past, rather than through the vision of the future, through trusting your gut, and you hold some good intentions, right? Years ago, when I rented a car, my parents were coming to town, and I rented this huge car that could hold us all, rather than my kids, my nieces and nephews, and everybody in a different vehicle. We just rented a larger vehicle. And I shared with the guy behind the Hertz guy behind the counter, my family's coming in for the weekend. I'm so excited. And he said, you will be tested, right? This is the ultimate test to see where you are, who you are with people that you've known your entire life. Why am I bringing this up, right? You might be done with your entire past, your entire family. Freedom is not having to choose. Freedom is, and those are the words of Krishnamurti, more or less, is being. So if I decide with my parents, no matter what they say, I'm going to be love. If I decide that with my family, I'm going to be whole. There's nothing missing. I'm going to be the current moment. I'm going to be fully honest, fully in the space of giving intent. They say something and I can shine a beautiful light on it and say, oh my gosh, you guys are so funny. Haha, we're going to have such a good time together. And guide you to what is truly best, which is you becoming two of like mind. The process of trusting your gut is not as simple as what we're saying here. So we're going to lay out a little bit clearer of a path. You can carve a clearer path towards it, towards being the most powerful version of yourself, your own intuition, and draw this out during the holidays. So what gets in your way? Overthinking. Your intuition, each one of the emotions, that energy and motion that you have in your body is like your own personal North Star. There's so many obstacles, right, within this energy and motion. Clouds that can dim around you, your light. Once you become aware of them, you'll be better able to catch yourself when you're headed in the wrong direction. So for the wrong reasons, you can take the wrong steps, right? You don't ever want to come from a place of self-defense. If you're in a place of self-defense, you can't amplify your own energy. So your intuition can't fully be guiding you. So this is how you get there. One, right, you'll catch yourself when you're headed in the wrong direction. But the number one thought and energy process is, right, you don't owe anyone anything. You do not owe anyone anything. You don't owe your family, you don't owe your friends, you do not. What is important is freedom is you. You are freedom. You being your word creates more connection, more possibility. And in any area that you gave your word in the past, right? Only you can bring that back up and create ways to create being your word, but you do not owe anyone anything. And so this is really important in the energy of the number one culprit that diminishes your personal power, limits your own intuition. This is overthinking. So how do we define intuition? The ability to understand something instinctively without the need for conscious reasoning. It's one of the things that you know instantly, right? My best friend Blair, when she called on the phone and left a message, and I like paced the floor the next day, there was no overthinking, right? There was all of our past, all of our juicy, rich moments. But I knew instinctively I couldn't wait to talk to her, and that she couldn't wait to talk to me. Overthinking. Instinctively, I knew when I met Greg, even though all of the things that were crazy in our energy field, I knew that small, still voice inside myself. You hang out with this one. There's something here. You've got to stay, connect. Overthinking is one of the biggest interferers of your intuition. It's one of your biggest limits on what can be possible for you. It's one of the biggest limits in this or something better. It's one of the things present mind body awareness. And this year, if you're going into the holiday season not overthinking anything, right? Every decision, countless scenarios, outcomes can lead you away from gut instinct. You decide who you're going to be, right? You decide, one, I'm going to have no external enemy. I'm using the power of my mind, the power of my heart, my love, my relaxed self to create two of like mind. And that's who you're choosing to be. And moment by moment, you're allowing your gut to bring out new words, new stories, new shares with others. Overthinking it, right? Walking through countless scenarios. When you walk through a scenario in your mind's eye, when you say, oh, this could happen with this person, this could happen with this person, this could happen with this person, and you've got emotions with it, right? You're putting into place energy that creates that vision. And so deciding, oh, I'm going to be gratitude this year. I'm going to be a great attitude, right? Gratitude. I'm going to be generous in sharing nice things about everyone that I see. Who I'm going to be in these holiday gatherings will allow you to really use your energy field to create organically free-flowing love, free-flowing. What's the vision that you're holding for yourself? For some of you, you heard the vision of what we're bringing through in Afghanistan. I played a call from Prince Ali sharing this vision, this idea, now getting even more momentum, more people involved. So for me, I've been sharing different prayers, different science with some of leadership in those regions. Leadership, and I've said, please don't give us any credit. Please use this, right? Not overthinking it. Please pray for the earth, pray for the waters, pray for, and the locals there being able to hear from powerful men. Local leaders are hearing, this is the challenge in the Amazon. This is the challenge in Africa. This is the challenge of the oceans. Your prayers and your group's prayers are required to heal this. So different religions, different warring fractions are now praying the same prayer. They're becoming the same energy field. There's a flood of possibilities. And so I'll play the recording again in a minute. A flood of possibilities and considerations are being generated from the inside of that region. I've held the vision in my mind's eye, this region, hospital, education center, free zone, or better. And every energy that I can give to it, any ideas, it's building the case. So no matter the exact process, right? Catch yourself in overthinking. This is one of the biggest problems that we all collectively have. The news, right? It's a fire, a local fire, and they amplify it is your house next? Are you going to lose all of your possessions like so-and-so, right? That shows up. And so overthinking becomes part of your amplifying. You amplify the energy. And there's paralysis that comes in. What's another one that limits? The energy of shoulds, right? This holiday season, we have so many shoulds. Shoulds often enter the picture when you're overthinking, and other times when you're outwardly focused. Like if you for example, will so and so like me if I do this? If I bring this to the dinner, if I bring this gift, will it increase or decrease someone liking me? In these instances, you're thinking about your behavior in a lens colored by rules, preferences, expectations that someone else has set, rather than looking inward and allowing your own thoughts and needs to guide your behavior, which would lead you to asking a very different question, like, how will I feel about myself if I do this? Because shoulds shift the focus away from you, and they distance yourself from your intuition. They distance yourself from the power of your mind and what can be amplified. So once upon a time, I'm so grateful to my girlfriends, to the princesses, right? I had a should. You should never show up anywhere empty-handed. So we had these princess gatherings, and I always brought gifts, enough for everybody. And at some point, when Greg and our nest egg, our finances tanked, and I could no longer bring gifts for everyone, I stopped showing up for some of the events. And it was a very, like, I felt I should bring something. I can't show up empty-handed. And 2008, when the market crashed, and it was after Hurricane Katrina, and I didn't know how to ask for help yet, and tending things. And I had that you shouldn't show up anywhere without being able to give. And so that shut down my connection with everyone. And when I shifted that with, how will I feel about myself if I do this? And so I showed up and I said, oh, I'm offering palmistry, I'm offering readings, I'm offering guidance. And this, I felt great about myself offering what I had an abundance of. But if I thought, oh, I can't bring a hostess gift, right? We're not there. I can't bring something for that. homemade cards, homemade gift certificates, right? There wasn't, and my girlfriends say, just show up. It doesn't matter if you have anything. It took courage to say, listen, I have this belief. I believe I should show up with something. I have nothing I can show up with. And girlfriends saying, no, darling, you don't get it. When you show up, but you bring all of this juicy love and possibility and games and fun. And so how will I feel about myself if I do this? So, wow, if I show up without a little trinket or a bracelet or a candle or something for anyone, how will I feel about myself? And I'm like, in my mind's eye, I generate, oh, I feel okay. It's okay. It's a new skill set. There's no should. And then later on, my gut, my instinct says, give this gift. So another limiting, what limits the power of your mind amplified? What limits your gut and your instinct? Prejudices and unconscious biases. It's extraordinary. Even though prejudices and unconscious biases are in some way opposite of overthinking, they have a similar effect on what happens in your intuition. As opposed to overthinking, overanalyzing. You've heard that statement, the devil is in the details, right? You separate yourself from what's possible. Quick judgments that the brain automatically makes is based on past experiences, traumas, stereotypes, rather than actual experience. As a result, neither of these allow for you to tap into the experiential nature of your intuition. And tomorrow, we're going to tap into this intuitive, amplifying this. In love class, we're going to jump into a loved one or an authority figure's needs, wants, and opinions and advices, right? I'll just cover it quickly. But when you jump into and you automatically choose a loved one or an authority figure's needs, wants, opinions, or advice, your gut instinct is no longer there. When you badly want something, your intuition is no longer guiding. A lower frequency comes in, and we'll dive into that gratefully. Also, when there's previous traumas and abuse in childhood, growing up, if you've experienced physical, emotional, or psychological abuse, you tend to blame yourself. And really getting the physical abuse, the psychological abuse, can trigger you when people say certain words, certain images. And for you to know that, that's one of the great things about the palms of your hand, right? It registers all the places that you blame yourself, rather than having a core connectedness to reality that doesn't cause you to struggle in those areas. So quickly, and Sunday we'll dive into so much of cultivating your intuition, cultivating the power of your mind. You want to make sure you've got the basic skill sets down to being in the moment, to connecting to your gut. And tomorrow in love class, you'll get a lot of this as well. And then, of course, on Sunday, you'll get the initiation and activation in a group setting. you must, you can slow down and clear your mind. We do that often in the guided meditation within Miracle Makers. You touch your forehead, clear mind. When you're living in a cloudy haze, rushing here, rushing there, whether it's physically or mentally, you miss information. And so with the same amount of things to do, you can slow down and clear your mind and not be in that cloudy haze. And for each person, there's a different technique. It's in your hands as well. This is something you know for yourself. The clear mind, open heart, relaxed being, meditation within Miracle Makers Academy is like taking a vacation. You can do that instant by instant. It's on purpose that you can slow down purposefully. Notice the sensations in your body is number 2, right? Being in the moment, having no external enemy, choosing who you're being. No one else has the sensations that your body has. Notice the sensations in your body. And your intuition is grounded within the sensations inside of your body. So you learn to recognize what's going on within your body. It's the key to developing your intuition. And it looks different every single day. Feelings and sensations, and it's interchangeable to really dive into this intuition. For example, anger feels tight and sore and hot in your body. When you're in the right direction, you might get the goosebumps, the tingly. What does sad feel like in your body? What does frustrated, right? And then also knowing your lungs expand when it's meant for you. You hold a key idea in your head. Should I go to this dinner invite? Should I go to this dinner invite, right? Multiple invites for the holiday season. And so you think of that first one and you hold the idea of that and you breathe in. Did it expand? Did your lungs expand? Your body knows the whole truth. If your lungs expand, that's a yes. If your lungs held your breath, it's a no. And you run through that for each of the places that you've been invited to. And then you bring it to, wow, my lungs really said yes to the one with this best friend, right? Your body always knows. Your body is associated with emotions. If your lungs expand, that's a yes. If your jaws tighten and your shoulders get raised and tense, your lungs don't expand as much. That's a no. Begin practicing this as a beautiful, beautiful way to get even more in touch when someone walks up to you. Stay connected to your body. Do your lungs expand or do your lungs contract? And then moment by moment going, wow, I'm choosing this time to be love and funny and generous, right? And generosity shows up in many forms. If someone says something negative, you can take it in the moment and turn it around and bring about something meaningful. To stay well in your body, focus on you in these gatherings. What do I really need here, right? You're asking, who am I being? What do I really need here? Give yourself full permission to be curious about yourself in these situations, and then take action. If your gut instinct says, remind Aunt Louise of so and so. Remind Aunt Louise. Say, my gut, my intuition right now is saying I should mention that uncle. And she'll say, oh my gosh, I was dreaming about him, or I'm so glad you brought that up. You must take action with your intuition. So I want to play this recording for us, right? Let's see. This one came from Prince Ali, is traveling in Afghanistan. Again, has this beautiful plot of land that's available that we're working on and building and bringing forth a hospital, a center for women and children, a learning center. We're going to train anyone there of any faith, of any religion, then men, women and children in the center, families on the outside, and men on the very outside of this neutral zone. And so this is what he shared. After I played this recording, we'll go into the individual readings and the individual consults and what's coming through for your body to know for you about yourself.
Good morning, Sarah. Hopefully you're doing well. Thank you. Everything is going good so far because we found in the southwest of Afghanistan, which is the border between Afghanistan and Pakistan, several people wants to help us and donate the land for the hospital. And the idea you had, I really loved it, because women are dying there every day. Why? Because they cannot deliver their babies, because there is no hospital, because on the way coming to the city is so far. For many different reasons, kids, children, men, and women are dying. So when I told them about this idea of building a hospital there, they were very happy with it. And they want to help us in any way they can for the safety and security, because, you know, they're poor people. And also, at this moment, we can call these places are as a war zone. And if we can build a hospital there, that would be very helpful, because there isn't any hospital in that areas which people can be, using those hospitals. So I think the idea is great and they love it, and I think that will work out good. Also, I'm leaving for an emergency meeting to India, as far as some projects that I have, as I told you before, with Mike Tyson and some of other people from US, with Dr. Dre. I have a meeting there to set up this program. And from there, I can talk to you for future of how we can help and do these things and set it up.
So with these ideas, I would love for you to send me prayers for Earth, prayers that these leaders are doing. The local leaders are now praying to make a difference, and they're teaching each of their followers, each of those that are praying with them, to pray for different areas of Earth, and they're empowering themselves and each other with greater energies. And so, Miracle Makers, as you watch this, as you hear this, the new next level of prayers to be said for the leaders of that region that really give to the earth, I'd love for you to put that, email it to us or share. And that is what's happening in that region. Even more resources coming in, even more land, even more prayers from people of different beliefs and faiths praying for our earth, praying for these huge two of like mind, right? Praying and creating, sprouting possibilities, solutions that have never been thought of before. And those so many leaders in this area are working in that area because we know there is nowhere for us to go. One earth, one possibility. There is no external enemy, right? There is no external enemy. We've been taught to think there is an external enemy. There is only who you're choosing to be. And so we'll go into the individual readings next. And remember, Wellness Wednesdays, Love Thursdays, and then Love Class on Thursdays. And on Sundays, we have guest speakers that are coming in from around the world to do Spirit Science and Alchemy with us, and to really ground in the initiation, the activation. So I look forward to seeing you there. All of the notes go out within miraclemakersacademy.com. We've got that guided meditation, Loving What Is. If you ever find yourself in a situation where it's hard to be there, or your body's suffering, or you're in pain, or relate emotional or spiritual, listening to Loving What Is guided meditation, you can download it again, listen to it. Repeated listening initiates great possibility in your bodies. So thank you for being here for this part. We'll go into the individual readings next.